mentioned in the previous matches, as they were actually the aggressors in the first part, as that glorious pathway along that circling eagle was used to initiate a lot of engagements. But coming in the mid game and in the late game, they were actually using those skills instead to disengage and to fall back against the enemy. So we'll see if Indonesia will be able to capitalize those initiation skills, as Paquito going right after that Matilda, who continues to stay in the lane as Hayabusa
Oh, Joe.
will try to get this for first blood on that Paquito. Lunox finishing off that Paquito with the first blood, but Indonesia is not done, as they will try to burst down this Ruby. Ruby will live. Yes, Ruby will stay alive, but in the expense of who fell down, Paquito, in the expense
Yeah.
of their main jungler, Paquito.
Oh my goodness. Did you see? I was like, where did Ka came from? Like, he was on the top side, and then later on, you see, like, Indonesia is on a full brawl there with, like, four members going up against the jungler. I mean, it was a good call, but TNTK does even it out a little bit by taking in, like, half of the gold plating here on the top side. No level 4 power spike left Vietnam. On the bot side, though, having trouble to deal with this clip. It's great that Indonesia banned out the Fopple and Trupa. It would have been a different case here for the side of Indonesia if they do go up against the Fopple and Trupa. But right now, Afen going on the aggressive side does take down Longstreet. Bronze on the defensive side right now. Level 2 for Bronze. Still no ultimate here, but is the target now of Vietnam, as Joe is now rotating to this EXP lane as the first turtle of the game is up for the grabs.
I'm not really surprised that Indonesia, as I mentioned, is on the aggressive side, as they have the circling eagle on this Matilda, as well as this glorious pathway with that high loss. The tankiness of both their main roamer and of course their XP laner will do them good, as they will try to initiate a lot of flashes, stopping or delaying the power spike coming from that Brody and of course that Pepito. So we will see the early game going to Indonesia, as they take a lot of aggression plays, a lot of initiation plays, and you can see right now they can even zone out that Esmeralda. Vietnam will no longer try to contest that Lord, as Hayabusa will get the free turtle for the side of Indonesia.
Yeah, the turtle goes to the side of Indonesia, but Vietnam will try to equalize it by actually trying to take down Rian here in the gold lane, but they are unsuccessful doing so. So that totally gives Indonesia so much space, so much gold and EXP right now. But with that being said, the composition here of Vietnam is built on flashes. They have to give to their advantage. I'm just wondering why they don't initiate as much flashes. Right now, Indonesia going on the full aggressive side here. Afen, here comes the real world manipulation as well on the backlines. Does chunk down Afen and made the real low, but they are able to escape that since they do have the Matilda here. Right now, the pressure is mostly here on the gold lane, since Vietnam is actually having a difficult time dealing with Rian's pokes here, going for the endless battle first as his first item for the clip. It's going to be an easy clear on the mid side, so you're not going to be seeing a lot of brawls here. It's mostly going to be on the gold lane, or maybe perhaps the EXP lane, as Triple will be spawned in just a little bit, get stunned by Bronze, but fortunately enough, Brad is able to escape that. That's a lot of gold plating as well. Take a look at how Maida and Afen is actually zoning out the members here of Vietnam as Rian takes down that tower on the bot side. One objective down for Vietnam, or Indonesia rather in this case.
Good shadow kill used by that Hayabusa by Brandt to actually zone out the members of Vietnam as they take down the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. And really, I'm really curious to what Vietnam will do right now, as you can see that Indonesia is really on the aggressive side right now, still going after that Esmeralda, despite Esmeralda winning the XP lane. Rather, circling eagle on that Esmeralda will connect, but no follow-up will come through, as Hylos and of course this Lunox will continue to push out the tier 1 tower in the top lane, as the turtle rather, responds in 3 seconds. Another flash pursuit here in the mid lane, as Lunox will bring down that Brody alongside Clint, will go down in the hands of that Paquito. Good 1-for-1 trade for both teams, but on the side of Indonesia, they lose their gold laner, they lose their Clint, and it's really vital right now, since a turtle is indeed has respawned rather. So they will really need the services of that Clint to be able to get this turtle in the hands of Indonesia.
Yep, Brand already going in for the turtle immediately right after the Rian got kicked off, and this is still going to be Indonesia's game. They are on the lead by 2K, but what was great about that clash was T's positioning as the Eve. if you've seen how he positioned himself, it was behind the bushes, actually getting Rian in a very tight spot. And right now, speaking of T, does get taken down here by Brad with the Ubi Shadow kill, and Vietnam is just forced to react to that clash as the ultimates will be tough. Vietnam is having a difficult time now dealing with the clashes, even though their composition is kind of built on it. I'm kind of wondering why they're not initiating so much on the clashes. It's mostly like Indonesia just going in and Vietnam more on the reactive side. Just like that, TNTK wants to go for the falling star moon, instead backs away from that.
Vietnam really having a hard time to sustain the initiations made by Indonesia. Actually, early on in the game, there was a good real world manipulation on the side of that Eve, but that Matilda dash is just really keeps saving the members of Indonesia. That's why they couldn't really go for those kills as Hayabusa tried to go for the shadow kill against that Brody and Ruby, but Clint will take down that Eve along with Kito again going for that Clint. Good clashes again. Good exchanges on the side of Indonesia and Vietnam.
Yeah, the mid laner for the gold laner still. Vietnam has an answer. TNTK gets choked out real low with the ultimate burned down by Maida just to take TNTK down. And that is really what you want if you're a Lunox. You just take down tanky heroes like the Esmeralda. Still, Indonesia leading this one with a 2k gold lead, given the fact that they have taken in two turtles as well as two towers. Now, it seems like Vietnam is trying to engage a lot of clashes here on the mid side, especially since they have all of their damage dealers going here. But Brand, it's a good call that he was actually able to push that minion wave on the bot side as Rian is trying to clear that top side. It's all about the objectives. Here comes the ultimate, paired in by Maida as Bronze will now be backing away from that clash.
Made a good ultimate in time as Paquito failed to bring down Lunox in the process. Hylos continuing to go for that move. A falling star moon will fall indeed on the side of Hylos, but Matilda again saving this Hylos from the potential death for the side of Vietnam. I really love how this Matilda works, being able to zone out a lot of members on the side of Vietnam, as well as save not only their damage dealers but also their tank players. As Hylos having trouble against this Paquito will try to disengage, but will the Esmeralda bring the Hylos down? Yes, indeed, Esmeralda will bring the Hylos down, but Hylos, along with the other reinforcements of
Okay.
Indonesia, will go right after that Esmeralda. We shadow kill on that Esmeralda, and Hayabusa will bring down that Esmeralda. An XP laner for an XP laner as Lunox sees the opportunity to burst down that Brody. Brody will go down. Ult on that Lunox. Ruby trying to stay away, but will be taken down by Matilda. Another reinforcement, re-engagement on the side of Indonesia as they take down the tier 1 tower, but Hayabusa is not over as they try to burst down the tier 1 tower. Along with that, Eve now disengages and will try to gain more resources to be able to take down the level 1 doors.
Yep, Indonesia 9-3 up against Vietnam. They also have the 5k gold advantage up against Vietnam right now in the 8-minute mark. It's a big factor that Maida was able to take the Lunox on the mystery shop emblem. Therefore, already getting the lightning truncheon as early as the 9-minute mark. Usually, it comes in the maybe the 10-minute mark or the 11-minute mark, but it is so painful to actually get inside the order of brilliance of the Lunox. It just melts down all the tanky heroes here. And by the way, none of them have any magic resistance items yet. So Maida is just wrecking havoc towards the tanky heroes here of Vietnam. And right after that, Indonesia can just go, like Brand here can just go for the final kill on the backlines here of Vietnam. That is their biggest problem. It is Maida's Lunox that is standing on a 2-0-3, by the way.
Mira actually easily bursting down that Esmeralda with spamming those skills as they take good position here in the Lord lane. I believe Vietnam will no longer engage in the first takedown of the Lord as they really couldn't handle, even the Esmeralda, the most tanky player on the side of Vietnam, couldn't handle the damage output of that Lunox as Lunox power spike can now be seen. Ruby trying to gain vision on that Lord as Indonesia still continues to push out the lanes. Yes, Esmeralda will go down. A solo off-cam kill on the side of Indonesia as Hayabusa will take down that Esmeralda. Matilda trying to zone out the rest of their members of Vietnam as they will try to take down this Lord. this level 1 Lord to be able to push the remaining towers of Vietnam.
Yeah, Indonesia with the superior positioning and with five turrets down on their side, Vietnam has not even taken down any of the towers here from Indonesia. It seems like it's still good for the next game here. If you take a look at the towers of Indonesia, it's all complete. They can still use it for the next game. But you know what? Kidding aside, if you take a look at the items, Ka as well as Afen already has the items to actually sustain all the damage that T as well as Nong Sui is actually putting out. But right now, Indonesia, they have the leverage rather of the Lord on the top side. So it's going to be easy for them to push at least the tier 2 tower here on the mid side, or maybe even perhaps get an inhibitor there on the top side as another clash will be out once again. And Maida on a killing spree gets bronze on the backside. Goes in here with the Ring of Order as well as the Glorious Pathway. But here comes the ultimate as well from T, and that is the opening that they needed. Jong goes in with the wombo combo. 2 for 2 trade here for both Indonesia and Vietnam. Vietnam still holding on though, but Maida on the full aggressive side on the back lines, bursting that ultimate and is able to escape that with the guiding wind from Athens as well. Great call for Maida to do that dive to take down Joe in the process, the jungler here of Vietnam.
Good re-engagements for both sides as they were able to take down numerous heroes on that clash and also take down the Lord and sustain their tier 1 tower, their inhibitor towers here in the mid lane and the bot lane as the defense for the side of Vietnam continues. What an as you mentioned a while ago, what a good call by Maida to go right after to continue the attack and to go right after that. Is that was that the Eve or was that the Ruby, I believe? But good call on the side of Maida to be able to burst down the remaining players of Vietnam and actually push to be able to push that tier one, that inhibitor tower rather in the top lane.
Yep, if you take a look at the items as well of Indonesia, but hold that thought, look at the all-out clash here. Indonesia on the full defensive side now, but take a look at Maiden's damage and Rian as well, already securing in the Malefic Roar. And as for Maiden, if you take a look at her items, he already has the Holy Crystal as well as the Divine Blade. So that is going to be additional magic penetration here on the side of Indonesia. Yes, Bronze does have that Athena shield, but that's not going to be enough to actually sustain all the damage that Maida is actually bringing out. By the way, he's already standing at a 404. That is mostly all the kills are going to this Lunox, which is actually doing really well, which I mentioned earlier would do great up against TNTK's Esmeralda. But right now, Vietnam does answer it out with that clash, forcing Indonesia to back away. It's great. The perfect timing here of T on this Eve actually securing in that Ice Queen mod for that additional slow when it comes to the clashes. So right now Indonesia has to watch out for T's Eve just in case another clash will happen here in the Lord pit. But right now this is the Luminous Lord that we are talking about, Ingen. The Luminous Lord that both teams need to get, and as I'm saying that, it's a quick takedown on the Lord here for Indonesia.
That was actually a beautiful set on the side of Vietnam as Bronze was able to set two members of Indonesia and that Falling Star Moon right on time to take down and burst down two members of Indonesia. But as you mentioned, that was also the Luminous Lord for the side of Indonesia. Now Vietnam will have more trouble trying to take down that Lord and also have to deal with Maida's Lunox as Lunox has now
Exactly.
she has really a good score right now, 404 on the side of Indonesia. Lunox, and also her good positioning along with that good initiations for that Hylos and of course that Matilda. I believe Vietnam will have trouble defending this wave brought by that Lord and of course the clashes initiated brought by Indonesia.
Yep, speaking of clashes in Maida already secured in the Genius mod, so Maida is definitely gonna go for those dives as the Lord is still up and running, up and kicking on the Glorious Pathway. Here comes Aphid as well with the Circle Eagle, but T on the backside with the real world manipulation, but take a look at the damage as well coming in from T as Riyadh gets taken down here by Vietnam with no gold laner here. It is once again Vietnam success successfully defending their base. They have one more inhibitor up left. The biggest problem there was that Rian got caught in the midst of the real world manipulation. It's actually very, very deadly, especially since T already has the vital item that an Eve needs,
Go for
which is
this
the Ice
dive.
Queen wand. Athena's shield actually surprisingly for the Eve. So when it comes to the clashes, one essential pick off here for Vietnam will actually do the trick. But Maida once again going in for those dives. Bronze Mongsui on the backside trying to deal in a lot of damage here. The shutdown though onto Maida, but the isolated clashes as well. Vietnam getting the pick off that they want for the mid laner for the EXP laner. Finally, the shutdown onto Maida is what they needed. And right now, Indonesia, after Maida is down, it's going to be difficult to do in those dives, especially since he is the one actually taking down the tanky heroes here from Vietnam. But still, Indonesia the uh, on the lead here with the 3K gold lead up against Vietnam. But right now, these are moments wherein you kind of have to think if you are Vietnam. Okay, yes, Indonesia has the kill score lead, but at the same time, there is still a huge potential for a comeback, especially since they have Eve, who has now scaled up when it comes to clashes in this. The conceal has been popped up here by Bronze. Here comes Ka as well, sustaining in all the damage. But right now, it is gonna matter when it comes to the clashes again. Both these teams, it doesn't matter anymore with the composition. It is gonna be a matter of execution here.
Another enhanced Lord respawns as the fight continues here in the Lord Pit. Actually, the first clash in the base of Vietnam. The aggressors were actually Indonesia with that glorious pathway along with that circling eagle, focusing the attack on Esmeralda. But somehow Bronze was able to set up Rian and of course that Matilda, and the falling star moon always seems to connect, always seems to be casted at the right place at the right time as both teams try to poke each other. No one's yet has a good position, rather clear position on this Lord, as the Lord will reset. This Lord will actually determine who will win this game, despite Indonesia actually having a lot of towers left. This luminous enhanced Lord will do the trick to bring down most, if not all, the towers for any side of either team.
Yep, you see the mind games of these two teams as Brent is actually positioning himself for a possible split push. But here comes Ka, perhaps an initiation here from the side of Indonesia. Here comes the glorious pathway as well, but Mongsui on the back side doesn't have that much damage since he went for the sustained items as well. But here comes Joe and TNTK on the back side, but take a look at the damage that is being taken here by Ta in the midst of it all. Real world manipulation here for T. Impeccable positioning, but Brad also goes in. Here comes Maida with this Moonok, spamming in those ultimate Rian with the proper positioning as well. Here comes the Super Eagle Flight on Matilda, tries to take down Mongsui, but fortunately enough, Mongsui does have that immortality being popped up right now, and with only T and Mongsui, I feel like Indonesia can just end this right now, but T is the only one left to defend this space. Will he be able to defend it? Winter Truncheon is not enough as Indonesia